Buenas tardes. Having a good look around here, what we got going on at Rythmia. That's our new theme song, Jer. What do you think about it? I'm just scrolling through the Rythmia Facebook page here, calling up myself live, which is always awkward, seeing myself live. How's everybody doing? Happy Father's Day! Feliz Dia de Padres, ¿verdad?
Right.
Woo! So Costa Rica and North America, we are all celebrating the Day of the Dads. The Day of the Deads. Not the Day of the Dead, the Day of the Dads. For some reason I can't get myself called up here. There we go. There I am. We've got one viewer! One Rythmia viewer, says Count Dracula. Two. What's interesting, I can't see myself moving again. I'm all frozen up, so I'm going to try doing it in a different thingamahooty, a different, what is it called? The things that we go on the internet? Browser. A different browser. So it's Father's Day. My father, Douglas George Pearson, say hello to him. He's watching us down from heaven right now. There we go. Now I see us moving. I lost my dad in May of 2011, but we still celebrate our fathers, obviously, here or there or anywhere that they happen to be in the world. So sending my love to my father, Douglas George, who's at his final resting place in Exeter, Ontario, Canada. I know my mother was visiting him in the cemetery this morning with a big bunch of flowers. Probably some purple ones in there because my dad's favorite color was purple. Who do we got? We got Jennifer watching, Andy's watching, Mindy Moffat saying hi. Hi Mindy, where are you watching from? As people join in, I'm going to say, hey, where are you tuning in from? How many fathers do we have out there watching? This necklace looks nice on TV, doesn't it? I got myself a whole bunch of new costume jewelry for the Facebook Lives. Beautiful. George Bell's joining. Mindy Moffat says she's watching from South Florida. We've got Julia watching from Los Angeles. City of Angels.
Los Angeles.
Los Angeles.
Right.
All right, so if you guys can see, we're talking about soup today. Soup's on! Not exactly considered warm weather food, but in fact, when you eat hot things in hot weather, it actually helps kickstart your body's cooling system. So spicy foods, one way to get hot food, but also soup. So I always have soups here on the buffet, which I've got two samples of over here. I just wanted to show you. It's kind of like, we're talking Christmas colors here. I've got, on the buffet today, we've got basil zucchini soup and our roasted red pepper tomato soup. So I just thought I'd pull those out and mention that both of those recipes, I believe, are available in this lovely little concoction called Miracle Meals, available on Amazon. Let's have a double check. Are those recipes both in here? Red pepper and tomato soup, check, page 29. Ooh, the zucchini basil one is not in here. So I'll have to post that recipe in the comments. But included in Miracle Meals, we have cream of pumpkin soup, we have broccoli and cashew cream soup, and we have the watermelon gazpacho, which is a soup, but it is a cold soup. So those recipes are all in Miracle Meals. Dun, dun, dun. Let me show you. There's the roasted red pepper soup. And look at, one thing I want to highlight about this little wee cookbook of mine is most recipes are all fit onto one page. So people that think they can't cook and think cooking is complicated, this is the kind of cookbook you need. Look at, literally. Ingredients, directions, super simple. Broccoli cashew cream soup, watermelon gazpacho, one page. Does not get simpler than that, my friends. So if you're going to be joining us at Rythmia or have in the past, this is available on Amazon. No pressure. Just thought I'd get a little plug in there. Miracle Meals. Also available on Amazon is Jerry's book, still. Shit the Moon Said. Both this one and Shit the Moon Said available for under $40. And one other thing I want to mention before we get any further into this, aside from the Happy Father's Day, is Majesty, which is a week that's coming up in August here, and it's going to be a beautiful goddess influenced mystical women doing mystical things. One of the amazing hosts for that retreat will be our own Brandy Powell. She's going to be helping host that along with Jennifer Sedini, who I know is watching, various other amazing mystical women. So there's more information on that online, or when you call the 1-800 number, the 1-888 number, I believe it is, to contact your Rythmia reservation specialist. They can tell you all about that. August 12th to the 19th. I have a lot of girlfriends already signed up to be coming to that. Super stoked. It's going to be amazing. And that's happening the week after I'm going to be in Toronto seeing Shakira live. Because her hips don't lie. I'm super excited about that. Shakira live in Toronto. ACC, August 7th. 7th row, floor seats. Gonna be bomb. the best way to slide into Majesty Goddess Mystical Woman Week here at Rythmia. So who wants to see some recipes? Because isn't that what we're here for? You guys don't care about my social life. Maritza is watching from New Jersey in the Hazizel. And Maritza says she would love to be at Rythmia that week. Well, call and check and see if you can get in. That would be amazing to have you. We've got Danielle watching from Chicago. Mirka's watching from Finland. Speaking of Finland, recognize this there apron. This was a gift from my amazing friends. When was that? 4 months ago about? Can't remember what month it was. Maybe January? We had an amazing group here from Finland, and this was a gift that I was given. It's one of a famous comic from Finland. Can't remember the name, but this here was made in Latvia. The Moomin characters, super cute. So now I'm starting my collection. I've got this apron from Finland. I've got one from Africa. I've got a bunch from the U.S., a bunch from Canada. I've got one from Italy. I'm getting one from Asia very soon from a friend who's just flying out today to Asia, who's been spending the week with me here, so I'm super excited to have that. So I'm holding you to it. Colt, you know who you are. Yeah, love the apron. Me too. Who else? Anything else I need to check in here? Belinda Foster is saying she was there with Taita Week. Ah, beautiful. She's in South Carolina, Powley's Island. George Bell's watching from Ontario. Candace Marie Fox is joining in from Rythmia, I'm certain. She's watching from just down the path. Stacy Smith Rush is watching from Texas. Oh, I love this. So great. So, shall we cook? Let's do it. First, let me hydrate. I literally about 10 minutes ago was here talking with Fiona, one of our staff members, and I was like, I'm so tired today. It's like my energy is super chill. I need a coconut water and a coffee, and what manifested? Coconut water and a coffee. And by manifested, I mean my lovely videographer Kenneth, who should say hello. Hello, Kenneth.
Hello, how are you?
He grabbed these for me right before we went live, so now I can hydrate and feel awake and refreshed for you all. Que rico. So I'm gonna put that there. Life is good, pura vida. So we're gonna be making 4 different soup recipes today. The first one is going to be cooked. And let's see, I didn't check to see if this was going to work.
Yeah, sure.
But the light's on, so we're good to go. So the first soup we're going to do, I wanted to show you guys this this broth. It's called Baylor's broth. And it was created by this doctor named Henry Baylor, MD. He was a pioneer in the alternative medicine world, and he started making this way back in like 1966. And it's just a really great green, really simple green broth soup to have in your recipe repertoire for any time you just want to have like a quick kickstart, healthy living, clean. I like to eat it hot and cold, so I used to make big batches of this and just keep it in the fridge and reheat it at night, sometimes have it cold at lunch. So I'm going to show you a version because in the nature of being flexible in the kitchen, we didn't have all the ingredients that I needed when I came in this morning, so I'm editing at will. So as you can see, the ingredients are very green. Does not get any more green and delicious looking than all of this. So the first main ingredient that I couldn't get because we were plumb out is green beans. So what have I substituted? Well, fennel. Because why wouldn't I? This fennel is just absolutely beautiful, small little fennel bulb. So I'm going to toss in just half of this because fennel is a super strong flavor. And the beauty of this recipe is you just toss everything into a pot and cook it down and then blend it. So I'm just going to get that going. So then when we're doing the rest of the recipes, this will be cooking away. So I'm not going crazy with the chopping. I'm just doing it relatively rustically because I do know at the end of the day we're just going to blend it all. So I just want to cut it down so it cooks a little bit fast in the essence of time. Tossing it all in here, and I've had all these veggies soaking in water this morning to clean them. There might be a little bit of residual. What'd you put in that coconut water, Kenneth? I'm like instantly drunk. 7.5 months sober and instantly drunk on the people water. Jeff Clark's joining. Greg is watching. He would love to be at Rythmia too. He just needs to raise some more money. Yes. Linnea is telling me I have a beautiful apron, and we've got Kyra watching from Oregon. So Oregano? Seriously, why do they let me do these lives? How do I have free reign to talk about whatever I want to talk about for an hour live in front of 6,000 people? It's interesting. I asked Jerry that same question a while back. I'm like, Jerry, do you ever watch my Facebook lives? Do you see the ridiculousness that Kenneth and I get up to? But even today, again, it's Sunday, And as you all know, I think I talk about it every week. Today is the day of multiple check-ins and check-outs. So we got a lot of people that arrived today, and so many of them, Meg, I watch your Facebook Lives. That's why we do it. So we get to know people before they land here. I love it. So I'm just separating some of these ingredients up so that I can be a bit more clear in what I'm doing here. So I've got one big old stalk of celery, dripping wet. I'm just gonna chop that real fine. I'm kind of short on counter space, which is fine. You can hear that fennel's starting to sizzle in the pan a little bit. I'm not gonna go too crazy with any of this. Again, like I said, rustic is best. Toss that in. If you've noticed, I haven't put any oil or anything in here at all. We are just gonna cover all of this up with water shortly, so really simple, clean, light, and you can obviously customize this to suit your needs if you want to saute some onion or garlic before you put all this in, but I'm just keeping it really, really simple and clean today. I mean, I don't like the word clean, just simple, nothing added, nothing taken away, just the veggies. Clean food is kind of a bullshit term. I can say shit, I've already said it. I said shit, the moon said. Clean food is a bullshit term. All food is clean food. There's no such thing as dirty food except for food that's literally pulled out of the earth and has dirt on it. So don't let anyone tell you, I'm eating clean, I'm clean eating. Frick does that even mean? All right, I know my friend Kelly Bowles, if she's watching, she'd be on with me on that one. So just giving that a little mix up so nothing burns. What do I have in there, guys? I've got fennel and celery. I'm gonna toss in half of this massive zucchini. I'll put in the actual recipe. The recipe that is the Baylor broth is actually 1 pound of green beans, 4 small zucchinis. This is obviously not a small zucchini. This is one massive one. 2 stalks of celery and a bunch of parsley. That's it. And then you just cover it with water, cook it down, and blend it. But I am obviously freestyling a little bit. Just wanted to show you the technique because there's no technique. It's put things in a blender. Put things in a pot, add water. And I'm also going to add in a big old handful of parsley. So this was spinach, by the way. Did I say that? This is big leaves of spinach. So we got fennel, spinach, celery, zucchini, and parsley. And because I have a lot of really beautiful fresh dill, I'm going to toss a little bit of dill in here because I think that is a good combination with all that fennel. And you see this really thick stem? I'm putting that in there too. Why? Because we're going to blend it in our high-powered blender. So who cares? Let's toss it all in there, shan't we? And then I'm just going to bring this under my sink and get some water going in there. No sense dirtying a dish. So we already got the pot heated up. The veggies are starting to heat up, so it's going to help get the water up to a good temperature rather quickly. And I'm just going to do it. I'm not even going to fully cover. We're having some water woes here. Well, hello.
Sing.
Jamie Ray is watching. Shauna Morris is saying, hi, Meg. We've got Alexander's watching. Kyra's saying Oregon. Said it right the first time. I know, I'm just messing around. Love you. She give me a fist bump. Funny thing is, I said today I need a new soup recipe, and here we are. Yeah, I read your mind like 3 weeks ago when I announced this was the topic. What kind of soup are you making? Is asking Sydney. Is asking Sydney. That sentence is that's an ass backward sentence. What kind of soup am I making? That's a good question. This is a version of Baylor's broth, which, as I mentioned at the beginning, was created by Henry Baylor, MD, back in like 1966, which is just a really simple, clean. I said it again. A really simple green soup. And I'm gonna add a pinch of salt, which is not in the recipe, but in the nature of this is what I do for a living, is making food, healthy food taste good. Gotta add some salt. Lid me. Voila. A lot of times you don't want to put lids on things when they're green. Like if you're cooking broccoli and steaming things like that, putting the lid on top of a lot of green vegetables when you're cooking will actually cause them to discolor because you're containing any of the, there's certain chemical reactions that happen with green vegetables and disoxygenated environment. But in the nature of making sure this cooks on time, I'm covering it and I'm going to let it cook that way. The directions I'm going to give you is place all vegetables in a pot with about 3.5 cups of water and bring to a boil. Skim foam that may appear on the surface, reduce heat and simmer uncovered until vegetables are tender, about 15 minutes. Puree with an immersion blender or upright blender. Read the small print. I just sounded like a commercial, didn't I? Okay. Claudia's watching. Sorry she's late, she says. No problem, Claudia. You can watch this back later and miss all of them. Amazing good times that you've missed in the last how many minutes? 15 minutes already. Sydney saying lots of vegan options at Rythmia. Yes, Sydney, lots. Lots of vegan. Also, vegetarian options in that I do use honey in several recipes as my sweetener. I use like a mixture of agave and honey, raw sugar as a sweetener, but there's always lots of vegan options. For sure, for sure, for sure. Okay, so we've got our soup going. I've got it on high here. I would literally, if I wasn't in an urgent state to get this done for you guys to hear it today live, I would probably just put it over medium and let it simmer slowly. But in the essence of live Facebooking, we'll do that. Give a little clean up to my space. And you're gonna be astounded by the next 3 recipes because they're the easiest things in the world. So we're gonna be doing 3 different ones, and I think we'll start with the lightest one in color. Because anytime, I think if you watched my sauce video where we did a cashew cream, a tomato sauce, and a pesto, I always like to start my bulk preparation of any recipes with the lightest color one and then move to the darkest because I'm going to use the same machine, i.e. my blender, and I'm not going to do a full rinse out between because I don't like doing dishes. So we're going to start with our first soup, which is going to be a cream of mushroom. Raw cream of mushroom soup. The next 3 are going to be raw soups. So really delicious when you want to just take a little break from eating a lot of cooked and solid food, really nice and refreshing in the summertime, which I know everyone in the North Americas, in the Northern Hemisphere is heading into the summer months. I know in Australia, you guys are opposite, you're in winter right now. You can still enjoy all of these soups. And lo and behold, do I have a doppelganger arriving? No, I have a new male version of me. Dun, 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 dun. Christian! The new Christian 2.0.
I officially joined the Meg fan club. This is what you gotta do if you're a fan of Meg. This is what you gotta do. So show your fanliness.
Or he really just did it because it's really hot here.
It is nice and warm. Even in rainy season, it's super warm.
And now we're twinsing it up.
That's right. So
refreshing.
So come on down and
shave your head. No, not recommended. Not part of the Rythmia program.
All right. So what are you doing today?
We're doing soups. Soups on.
Oh yeah.
So we've got a version of Baylor's broth cooking down here so far, which is just a really simple mix of greens that you boil down and then you blend. It's originally created by a Dr. Henry Baylor, MD, in 1966. It's like a detox soup. But I like to make big batches and I cook it. I eat it hot at night sometimes when I'm lazy.
Looks like good vegetables.
It's good vegetable. Normally it's green beans, zucchini, celery, and parsley, but I mixed it up because I didn't have any green beans. We did zucchini, spinach, fennel, parsley, dill.
Fennel sounds like a secret ingredient.
And spinach, did I say that?
Nope.
And dill and fennel. Dill and fennel, parsley, celery, all of those things. Wow. So we're just going to cook that down and then we're going to blend it. And then we're doing 3 versions of raw soups. We're just about to get going on to the raw mushroom soup.
Tell me when it's ready. I'll give you a taste test.
I will. We'll holler. Christian!
All right. I'm out of here.
Nice to see you.
Jump in the pool. Or
yeah. And then you don't have to worry about drying your hair. All right. Oh, I should have checked to see if anyone wanted to say hi to Christian. Belinda Foster loves the new look, Christian. And Chris Collier is saying hello from Portland, Oregon. Oh, is this Chris? This is Chris, our dear friend Chris that was just here a couple weeks ago. Nice to see you. Morgan Lewis is saying loves the cooking show. Carrie Brewster just joined. Anna Maria just joined. Kara Jean saying hello. Oh, so much fun. Okay, back to the soup. So, like, life does not get any easier than this. Raw soups. You toss things in a blender and Bob's your uncle. So these are our ingredients from my friends. Clearly we're making mushroom soup, so we need mushrooms. So this is just about 1.5 cups. The recipes that I'm going to put on post are going to actually be accurate. This is my eyeballing. That's how I roll. It's about 1.5 cups of white button mushrooms. Again, I'm not even chopping them or anything because I'm just going to, put that there. Because we're just going to blend them. A couple of flavorings here. I'm adding in 1 clove of garlic. I'm going to add in about a tablespoon of fresh rosemary. Only because I love rosemary and mushroom together. What's going to help cream this soup up for our raw vegan cream of mushroom soup is cashews. Could have soaked them. Forgot. It is what it is. And I don't think I need all of those. Soaking them would have made the puree and everything a little bit easier. But we didn't do it today. That's fine. We're going to add water. And then for other flavorings, here I've got some soy sauce and some miso. So this is a light brown miso paste. What up? And soy sauce. And I've just got them in the same ramekin here for fewer dishes. It's about a tablespoon of miso, about a tablespoon of the soy sauce. And this is also going to function as our salt component, so I'm not going to go adding any extra salt to that. Is that all? No, that's not all. But wait, there's more. Let me put this here for now. 2 other things. I'm going to have the juice of 1 lemon I think the recipe might call for 2 tablespoons. I'm gonna use this whole little guy, and a quarter of a red onion, and this was a really small little one, so I'm gonna use this whole one. Because mushrooms kind of have I mean, they can taste pretty woody, but they also are kind of bland, especially the white button mushrooms, so I'm adding all of these other little flavoring. It's just to bring out the earthiness of the mushrooms. And we're not sauteing them or browning them or anything ahead of time, because this is a raw vegan syrup, so that we need to just give a little bit of an oomph. So I'm not gonna go crazy chopping this either. Roughly toss it into my blender, do that. And then my lemon, I'm gonna use my best tool, as always, my hand as my strainer, so I'm catching all the, oops, I think I just lost one. Catching most of the seeds in my hand. One seed's not going to kill us. It's going to blend in just like the cashews. Rinse my hand a little bit. Then we need water. Obviously, this isn't going to blend up real good, so I'm going to put in real good like. Just going to put in a little bit of water. Again, you guys will get a proper recipe. I used to teach a whole raw soup class at one of my other hotels. And then I would go on these kicks where all I wanted to eat was raw soup for days, and that's probably what's going to happen after today. Blend that up. I've got a couple of comments here. I've got Christine is saying, I love that you don't soak your chia seeds or cashews. That soaking turned me off. Too much planning and that ends up not working out for me. I love your simple tips. Exactly, Christine. Soaking, and it's going to depend who you talk to. I've studied with a lot of different raw vegan chefs and holistic nutritionists and whatnot, and everyone has a different opinion on it. My opinion is, do whatever is easy. If you're making food from scratch, I don't give a rat's beep if you're soaking things. If you have trouble digesting nuts and seeds and soaking helps, by all means, go ahead and do it. If you remember to do it before you're making your mix and whatnot, awesome. If you don't sweat the small stuff. It's still, going to do your body a little bit more benefit by making a raw vegan soup with not soaked cashews and buying something from a can that's going to have a lot of other additives and stuff. Not that that's bad, but this is going to, it's just going to be a whole lot more wholesome and fresh. So don't worry about the soaking of the nuts and seeds. Cara Jean is saying she's making the soup tonight. Rarely do I have all of the ingredients on hand. It was meant to be super cool. Now, who was it? Was it Kenneth? Was it you? Or was it one of our viewers a couple weeks ago that suggested we do a Cook with Meg segment where I tell you what we're making a week in advance. Everyone goes and buys the ingredients and we cook it together. What do you guys think about that idea? Like a Cook with Meg segment. Like I will can announce the week ahead. This is what we're making next week. Everyone, I'll give you the grocery list. Everyone go out and get all the groceries, and then you guys can prop up your phones and laptops in your kitchen, and we can cook together. Does that sound like a lame idea, or does that sound fun? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Tell me. Give me the whole truth and nothing but the truth in the comments, please. Por favor. Tiffany Hurt already says yes, and Christine already says yes, I'm game. Okay, perfect. Keep giving me your feedback, guys, because I do this every week, remember? And I can't just keep coming up with new, fresh content all the time.
Also, in the end, the video, maybe the people take a photo and send to us to see the last product.
So we can do
final product.
We can do something that can be completed on all of our parts live on the Facebook, and then we can do like a little interactive share. Let's have a little update here, by the way. So this is cooking away beautifully. I'm only going to let this go to the point where, once everything is tender. So I'm just sticking my knife in my zucchini, and we're almost actually there. It's not taking long because these are all really quite tender vegetables. So it's really going to be just making sure that the fennel is going to be blended enough. So I'm going to let that just go a little bit longer. And in the meantime, let's serve up the mushroom soup. Que riquísimo. Look at that. Ooh, creamy goodness. And I could have gone a little bit longer. Because I think there were a couple of chunks of cashew in there, but I'm not going to panic. Then I'm just going to garnish it with a cashew and a little bit of paprika and a tiny bit of parsley. How pretty is that? Dun 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 dun. That's the mushroom soup theme song, apparently. Seriously, why do I get to do these videos? It's ridiculous. All right, and this is the other thing that I've shown you guys in the past for storing soups and whatnot. Plastic, oh my God. I know, but I'm gonna reuse it a million times over, so don't panic about it. Do you wanna try that? Actually, you can't try it yet, Kenneth, because I wanna take a picture of all the soups when they're done. So we gotta keep them pretty. And we don't gotta worry about raw soups getting cold sitting either. So this is the other thing I like to do with soups. I put them in a Ziploc bag. Get as much of that out as I can. Zip it up. Mark on the outside here what it is and the date. And then when you freeze it, you just lie it flat in the freezer. Obviously, it makes more sense when you've got a lot more volume. And then you just stack them. So you're gonna have like a stack of like 30 soups in your freezer ready to go in individual portions, and you just pull it out, wash and reuse your Ziploc bag. I have like drawers and drawers and drawers full of reusable Ziploc bags that I wash and reuse. So that's soup number 1. So I'm gonna put that in my refrigerator down here. My refrigerator. And then we're gonna move on to soup numero 2, which is, by the recipe that you guys are gonna get, it's going to be squash soup with cilantro, but today we're making carrot soup because I didn't have butternut squash. So who cares? But in the meantime, actually, let's do this. I think we're ready. I think it's ready. We're gonna blend this bad boy, and I'm gonna show you guys something that, an alternative. If you don't have a high-speed blender, I'm just gonna give this a quick rinse. I'm a bit of a hummingbird today as far as my attention span, as per usual. Maritza's saying you could always call the show Making It with Meg. Making It with Meg. Not to be confused with Making Out with Meg. Completely different show, completely different channel. Booyah! Just kidding. Okay, Lauren Tripp says she wants that soup. The soup is really good. Chris Collier saying yes. Serge is giving me a thumbs up. Alicia saying hell yeah. Or hey yeah. Maria says it's a great idea. Okay, so you guys want to do the cooking with Meg. Super, super fun. Lauren Tripp saying see you next week. Does that mean you're coming to Rythmia, Lauren? Super fun. Maritzia says it's a fab idea, the cooking. Agatha saying my family used to go on weekend outings for mushrooms in Poland. This recipe would have been so cool. Yeah, if you can get really super fresh foraged mushrooms, come on. And you can sub in any other mushroom. I just use the white because that's a cheap and cheerful option. But you can use any kind of mushroom in there, like mix in half cremini, add in some oyster, do whatever you want. But I use the white also because the other really fancier ones, the fancier mushrooms, not that white, there's anything wrong with white, but they are pretty the humble white mushroom. I like saving the oysters and the shiitakes and all of that for like sauteing and broiling and grilling because they have such potent meaty flavor. Whereas this white mushroom, just combining with all these other ingredients, make for a great hearty dish. Dun, 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 got out my immersion blender. Don't use it very often, but when I'm doing soups like this one, this is my best friend in the world. So this, super simple. I think I paid like $12 for this, and I've used it all the time. This travels with me when I'm doing chefing gigs and stuff. It's just a really great thing to have on hand for everything from soups to smoothies. You know, sometimes even when I'm on, you know, vacationing and I'm not sure what I'm gonna be, if I'm gonna be able to get smoothies, I bring this with me and I put ingredients in a glass and I blend it up for my morning smoothie, like my protein powder and some fresh banana and almond milk. So all I gotta do is plug that in, and this is gonna be our ways to blend up this soup. Just test, make sure it's good. 2 settings, low and high. It doesn't get any simpler than that. And then we just put it in our pot. And make sure you got it fully immersed, hence the term immersion blender. And then you just go about blending your soup up. Putting your blade over all the veggies. It can be a bit more time consuming than using your stand-up blender, your countertop blender. And here it's doing its trick. Sucking in the veggies through the little holes around the blade. Whee! Careful now. 3rd-degree burns on me and Kenneth from my immersion blending tactics. You get the picture. I'm not going to do the whole pot. But you can see it's blending up. We're eliminating chunks. You get the picture, right? I'm going to put it in the blender. Let's be real. Essence of time. And then really great thing about these cleanup, you just take, oops, unwind it and then wash this under the sink and you're good to go. Great little tip. Great little tool to have. Put that over there. But, speed it up a bit. Pouring this away from myself for the most part. Probably should do this in 2 batches. We don't need 3rd-degree burns live on Facebook. Put that over the top here. Had it on high, my friends. We were just death-defying on Facebook Live today. I need more coffee. Stack. Yes. So I have someone here, Christine says, regarding the Cooking with Meg segment, she says, I may need to know about what appliances are going to be needed in advance because I don't have a food processor, but I have everything else. So that's true. So then when I decide to do this, we'll make sure we have the grocery list and appliances needed. And I'll come up with a recipe that is minimal appliance needed so that vast majority of people can be involved. Lauren Tripp, she's funny. Are you like perfectly healthy? Is that a joke? I'm the furthest thing from perfect, and if you watch every week, you'll come to realize that very quickly. Quite the opposite. 100% a foodivore, not vegan, not plant-based. I like donuts. I like pizza. These foods are all perfect. And I'm a klutz. I break things. I've crashed a motorcycle twice in 2 months. Driven my quad off a river. Lost my iPhone. Ruined my iPad. When I was drinking, I poured an entire glass of red wine on the keyboard of another MacBook Pro. As far as health is concerned, I haven't done any exercise in 6 days. Pura vida. I was on holiday. My whole body was on holiday. My brain was on holiday. There's no such thing as being perfectly healthy. As long as you're being present in your body and loving it and doing things that feel good to you at the time, that's perfect health. Ask Deepak Chopra. He's got a good book called Perfect Health. Look at that. Well, you want perfect health? That is a bowl of perfect health. Doesn't that just scream delicious, nourishing health? Bland. Not gonna lie about that. She's bland. But now you can zhuzh it up with a drizzle of olive oil, some sea salt. If you're like me, maybe a little bit of sriracha. Ooh, look at that. Bit of paprika. There. There's a bowl of perfect health. Definitely needs some sea salt, but pure vida, delicious. I'm going to pour this in here for now, let that cool off, and then we'll blend the rest later. In the meantime, we're going to move on to the next soup. I'm going to get this out of the way. Pardon me for a moment. Okay, so I'm not even going to rinse this because I don't need to. And we're going to move on to the sopa remalacha, like a raw vegan borscht, if you will, which is a Russian soup, I think. I used to do a cooked version of this. Now I've really kind of fallen in love with the raw version. So simple ingredients. First thing I'm going to add in is some fresh dill. If you have dried dill, you can substitute that. 1 tomato. This is just a nice hearty big tomato. I'm going to just roughly chop. Again, we're going into the Vitamix blender here, so we don't need to be too crazy particular about how we're chopping things up. I just want to put it in. Look at how beautiful that is. So red. Delicious. Come on. Come on. Beautiful. Sometimes I forget, because I used to be a television director. I worked in live TV, and I used to have celebrity chefs on my TV show all the time, and I used to go crazy when they'd be like showing something to the camera. They'd look at that! Look at that! It's beautiful! Look at that! And I'd be like, oh, this chef! So sorry that I'm doing that now. Sorry. Not sorry. Kenneth is pretty good at keeping up with me, isn't he? So juice of half a lemon. So again, using my tool of my hand. Squeezing that in. Catching the seeds. I got my garbage bowl, a la Rachel Ray, that we've joked about in many other Facebook Lives, connecting all my compost. Toss that in. So tomato, dill, juice of a lemon, another little tiny red onion here. If you have shallot, aka shallot, a small shallot would be nice. It'd be a little bit milder in taste. I'm using red onions today because I find they're a little bit less intense than white cooking onions. If you have Vidalia onions, whatever your favorite onion is totally fine. If you don't have any regular onion, you could toss in green onion or chive. Toss that in. and a medium beet. This is probably would be considered a massive beet in technical terminology. It's organic, so I'm not going to peel it. I'm just going to chop off any of the rough bits. Maybe I'll peel it a little bit. Just the hairy, ugly bits. And if you don't have a super like V8 engine blender, you could peel this stuff, obviously chop it a little bit more fine, you know, maybe soak your nuts, because that's just going to help puree it smooth. And if you're like me, I want my pureed soups. Oh, I'm peeling it. Look at that. As I'm talking, I went ahead and subconsciously decided to peel it. When I'm eating pureed soup, I want soup chunky or pureed. I don't want it in the middle for the most part. So if you don't have a high-powered blender, yeah, go ahead and chop things a little bit finer. Soak your ingredients that are a little bit more hearty. If you really wanted to, you could even parboil some of the vegetables, because that's going to help with the blending process if you want a really smooth soup at the end of the day. I'm going to be stained with beet juice for the rest of the day, which is fine. Ruby red, beautiful beet juice. Whoop. So delicious. Now, the next ingredient we're going to add is sun-dried tomatoes, and I like to add this in because it gives it, I love the taste of sun-dried tomatoes, but it also gives it a thicker texture, about 1/4 cup, and a bit of clove. I like ground clove, but we only have the whole clavo de olor. Clavo de olor. So I'm just going to toss one of those in there, and then we just need some. We're going to need some water to blend, but I have 2 more things I'm going to add in here, and this is agave, just as a sweetener. I find the earthiness of beet is quite potent, especially when they're raw. Like roasting brings out their natural sweetness. We're not roasting, so I'm going to toss in some artificial sweetening with some agave. You could add in honey or coconut sugar or coconut, what's it? It's like a syrup called coconut, what's it called?
Syrup.
No. Someone can help me out with that?
Cream.
Rhonda's saying, what did she say? Can I come and just apprentice and learn how to cook plant-based? I became vegetarian a year ago, but I never learned to make good stuff. We have one vegan place here, and I wish I could go every day. I wish I could have some apprentices, but I've got such an epic team here, and our kitchen is at full capacity right now. Lauren Tripp saying, you're real. I love it. Thank you. Christine saying, so we still want to come be more like you. Good try. Are you really perfectly healthy? Okay, so we're back there. And then we got Alicia saying sesame oil. Sesame oil. I don't know what she was saying that to. Then Rhonda saying, plus you need a nice little dog sanctuary there so people can come pet dogs and meditate. There's a place in Costa Rica called the Land of 1,000 Dogs or something like that out near San Jose that has how many, like 5,000 dogs or something? Not 1,000. It's like the place of dogs without homes. It's like acres and acres that this family owns, where it's just any homeless dogs can go there and live freely, and like literally transport trucks of dog food get donated every week. There was an article on CNN, or a news story on CNN a few years back about it. So people can go there and meditate, and then they can come to Rythmia and do the plant medicine and be so much better for it. Maritzia, thank you. Coconut nectar. That's what I was trying to come up with. It's like amber, maple syrup would be another great option. Kelly is saying, hey Meg, Kelly from Kingston, Ontario? Clearly I need another sip of coffee. Okay, so now we need some water to help blend this. I'm not gonna add too much. I'm gonna add about 3/4 cup to start. What are we at for time? 2:40. Well, beauty thing is we only have one recipe after that. So look at this. Toss that on. Gotta make sure it's on low. Blend away. Woo! How good is that? I really do like your new technique that you've discovered about backing away from the blender, taking in the wide shot, taking in all that's going on, so our viewers aren't blown away by the sound of the Vitamix. This is why he's my videographer. He's got it nailed down. I didn't add any sort of salt or seasoning, so I'm gonna add a pinch of sea salt in there and then reblend for a titch. For just a titch, another technical term. There we go. And another thing, Kenneth, and another thing, you seem to know exactly how many soups I was making because you brought just enough bowls. So impressed. So this is our sopa de remolacha. Like so. Now, what are we gonna put on top of that? Well, I happen to have a little bit of this garlic herb oil. Can you see it, Kenneth? Ooh, you could add in a little bit of creme fraiche. Coconut, super thick coconut milk would be good. And all this is olive oil blended with various herbs and a squeeze of lemon to keep it yellow. And we always have something like this on hand just for garnishing dishes and whatnot. Adorning a la Espanol. A little more parsley. How pretty is that? Oh, I have another technique that I want to do after that. Another little plating check. But for now, we'll put this here. Building our little pyramid of soups. So pretty. All right. Do this. Woo! That's still hot. Hello. So I'm just going to, you'll understand why I'm doing this in a second. I'll put this just on half of my bowl here. Like so. How can I do this? I just want it to stay on a tilt. But I want to keep it there while I'm doing other stuff, Kenneth. You can't do that, or else it's going to screw up here. Yeah. So that'll be good. Grab another Ziploc to store this beet soup. Christine's saying, are you making these cold or some of them hot? These are all cold except for the green broth that we made at the beginning. You could blend these, especially if you're making them in a colder climate in the winter. You can just blend them a little bit longer, and they'll start to warm up just from the sheer power and heat created from the blender. That's what I used to do in Canada when I was 100% raw vegan back in the day. I would make like a big thing of curried carrot soup in the blender with tons of ginger and cayenne and let it go in the blender so it started to slightly warm. So putting that beet soup down in the freezer. And then we'll move on to soup number 3. Kelly saying, I just got back from camping on the St. Lawrence. Ooh, beautiful. Yeah, the weather is really improving up in the way of Canada, from what I gather. I'm excited to be going there in August, which I'm sure it'll be lovely that time of year. I love Canada in the summer. Brian has joined us. Amazing. Okay, so final soup. Normally would use squash. Hi, Tatiana, how are you? I'm great. But we're gonna use carrot today because I didn't have squash, which I mentioned at the beginning here. So I'm just gonna quickly peel some of the outer layer of these carrots. Again, I'm not going crazy. Am I going crazy? Say I'm not. Can you go crazy if you're already there? The tree falls in the forest. If Megan talks to herself constantly on Facebook. Oh geez. Cutting off the ends, and again, not gonna go too crazy about how fine I chop this. This knife is not doing me any help, doing me any favors. It's a little bit in the doll department. This is what I get. I have my knife kit that just hangs out in the office all week long. And then I go to use it live, and I forget that I never actually hone it, sharpen anything. Woo! So I haven't cut myself with a knife in a long time. Knock on wood. But just today I was washing a mason jar, and it shattered. It just exploded in my hand. It was super interesting. I haven't had anything like that happen in a long time. Okay, so we got a couple cups of carrot in there. I'm gonna toss in a half of a sweet red pepper, just for a little extra sweetening flavor. I'm gonna toss in some more red onion. You'll notice I haven't used a ton of raw garlic because I find, I use a lot of garlic in a lot of raw recipes, but when it comes to soup, quite often we make it in batches and let it sit, and I find the garlic as it sits raw can get quite potent and almost overpowering. So I'm choosing to use onion instead for that same hint of, that same flavor note. So toss that in. Again, celery, 1 stalk. beautiful. Avocado. I'm going to toss in about half of this, and this is just a great way to get it a little extra sustenance, a little bit of cream. Oh God, come on. You know it's a good day when absolute perfect avocado. Am I the only one out there that this can like totally make or break my mood for the day? This is really good times, having like absolute perfection. Absolute perfection. Joey Grant says yummy. Christine says you need a ceramic knife. I love mine. That's true. I had one in Canada. Lindsay is laughing about something. Joey's saying I joined too. You guys are so, I love this. So much fun. So I'm going to put in a whole half of this. Whoops. Toss the skin. Flavoring, we're going to put in soy sauce. You could use nama shoyu, coconut aminos, whatever you want to do. Just a nice liquid seasoning. That looks really pretty in there. And then this is, like I said, it's a squash cilantro soup, so a little handful of, actually, you know what? I'm gonna do that afterwards. We're gonna pulse that in. So maybe a little bit of water to get that rocking and rolling. You could substitute this water for any liquid you want, like coconut milk, almond milk, rice milk. You know, just if you feel like you wanna have a little bit more flavor. I'm just using water because it's tamper, which I don't, we long lost those, which is this tool that comes with this type of blender that lets you smash ingredients down towards the blade as you're blending. You might just need to stop and force some of your ingredients down towards the blade, especially if you're not using a ton of liquid like I'm not here, because I want this to be a really thick soup. He was ready to give her. He was taking it to the next level. I just added a pinch of sea salt, mixing this in. I did put lemon in this, right?
No.
Didn't I?
No. Let's see, no.
Well, maybe there isn't lemon in this recipe. Put that back on. Here we go. Oh no, I was going to pulse in the cilantro. Such a liar. So just a little sprig of cilantro in there, just to pulse it in. So we have a little flecks of green. That's the only reason why I'm doing it like that. Just like that. So we can pour some in the bowl here. Look at how thick that is. Delicious. And then I've also got this half bowl of beet that I'm just going to go ahead and pour some of this into the other side. And it's super thick, so it's not going to be the prettiest. And then you can do like a half and halvesy, right? How pretty is that? And then you can take something like a knife and just play around. You can do a little swirly gig. That looks kind of pretty, right? Abstract art. A little bit of cilantro in there. What do you think? Pretty decent. We could clean up the edges with the paper towel if we had it, but I'm not going to go too bonkers with that. Dun 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 dun. And that is all she wrote, my friends. So how many soup? Look at that. That's like a full day's of soup. A soup for every meal, a soup for every mood, a soup for every soldier. Is that a saying? It is now. So that, my friends, is our soup class. And like I said, any of this you could now go ahead and reheat on the stove if you wanted to have a version of these warm. They freeze really well. They're going to separate, the raw ones especially, if you refrigerate or freeze them. So all you need to do is reblend them and get them really soft and silky again. Any of these plant-based recipes, you could sub in the water for any sort of milk alternative. You could blend in any sort of nut or seed to make it a little bit more rich and or satisfying, like hemp seeds would be great blended into any of these or topping any of these. Sliced avocado. You could serve these over top of a mix of salad greens and brown rice and quinoa to make them almost like a Buddha bowl. I mean, the options are endless, but I just wanted to show you how simple and how much of a variety you can do with just your blender and fresh veggies without much effort. So we've made all of this, except for the 2 cooked recipes, which are also super easy, in under 40 minutes. And if I had been yakking the whole time, it would have happened a whole lot quicker. So let's check in here. Kelly's saying yes. Me too, Lauren. I missed half of it. You missed half of today. Luckily, it's going to live forever on the Facebook page and on Rythmia's YouTube page as well. We have a YouTube channel that all of these Rythmia Lives are fed into. Kelly's saying thank you. Alicia's saying bravo. Beautiful, thank you. Beautiful, thanks, Meg. You guys are awesome. Thank you guys for tuning in. Let's see what's going on next week, shall we? Next Sunday, which will be the 24th, right? Holy smokes, June 24th already next week. We're going to be investigating the ingredients. So next week, I'm going to just be talking about several ingredients that I've mentioned a lot in my Facebook Lives. I'm going to try to get my hands on a lot of them and have samples, but there's certain ingredients that I talk about a lot that people have been messaging me in private or emailing me via my website asking me about specific things like the Nama Shoyu and the nutritional yeast and all of that stuff that if you haven't seen all my videos, maybe you haven't seen examples of these ingredients. So next week, we're going to talk about investigating the ingredients. So tune in for that, and then I'll figure out when I'm going to do the Cook with Meg, Making It with Meg. Hopefully we'll do that in the next month or 2 as well. So, on that note, happy Father's Day, happy Sunday. It is 2:53 my time. That means it's coming up at 5 p.m. Eastern time. Don't forget to tune in 6 p.m. Costa Rica time, 6 a.m. Friday morning Costa Rica time to see us playing Brazil in the World Cup. It's going to be a great game. I don't even like soccer, but since moving to Costa Rica, I've gotten into it. So, wish us luck. And I wish you guys all a beautiful week, and we'll see you next week here, same time, same channel. Kenneth?
Love you all.
Love you all. Mwah.